Florida is now under a tropical storm watch. I'm Mike Nasel with the latest on Tropical Storm Isaias. As of 5 p.m., we now have a tropical storm watch along the east coast of Florida from Ocean Reef to Sebastian Inlet, and that is all because of Isaias. Let's get right down to the latest. As of 5 p.m., the center was estimated at 19.5 north, 70.6 west, and the winds were 60. It's moving northwest at 20, and it is expected to slow down, and the pressure is now 999 millibars. The watches and warnings, I'm going to go through the list here. We have a tropical storm warning for the Dominican Republic, including the entire southern and northern coastline, okay? As well as for the Turks and Caicos Islands, the Southeastern Bahamas, the Central Bahamas, and the Northwest Bahamas, including Andros, New Providence, Eleuthera, and the Abacos, as well as Grand Bahama Island. And we now have, as I mentioned, that tropical storm watch from Ocean Reef to Sebastian Inlet here along the east coast of Florida, with the expectation that these may be upgraded, some of them, especially in the Bahamas, to hurricane warnings, because we now anticipate Isaias to become a hurricane. You can see the wind field here is quite large, 240 miles away from the center and off towards the north. Some of the Turks and Caicos, you guys are getting into it now, and this is all headed in a northwesterly direction. Now here's the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. This is as of 5 p.m. tonight, Thursday night. This may change, but right now it appears that by Saturday and Sunday, Florida will have a hurricane very, very close to its doorstep. Then as Isaias moves with the approaching trough off the east coast, it should be picked up by Sunday, then Monday, then Tuesday. However, a landfall, even as a hurricane, along the Carolina coastline or up the eastern seaboard cannot yet be ruled out. So everybody from Key Largo to Cape Cod needs to be overlooking their hurricane plans just in case Isaias makes his way towards you. There's the visible satellite imagery, and right now the Hurricane Center is estimating that the center is somewhere here over the Dominican Republic. However, clearly there is rotation right off the north coast. We're going to get the Air Force recon flying and zigzagging around to record exactly what the storm's doing. Remember, in the developmental stage, you could have a lot of center reformations, and it's trying to get pegged right. But once it gets up in here, it looks like it'll be over open water, and clearly it's starting to get more of that classical tropical cyclone shape. And so we may have to deal with it intensifying into a hurricane as it moves through the Turks, Caicos, and into the central Bahamas. So this is a serious situation. Remember, Abaco Island, Grand Bahama Island, they were decimated by a catastrophic Cat 5 hurricane on Labor Day weekend last year. Remember Dorian? Seems like yesterday. They are still in agony on those islands. So they do not need another hurricane. And unfortunately, it looks like Isaias might be a hurricane near those islands over, say, Saturday and Sunday. These are the spaghetti model plots, as I like to call them. You can see the red line is the hurricane center right in the middle, which keeps it just offshore of Florida and then slams it into North Carolina. But again, we have models taking it anywhere from the Keys up the west coast all the way over through the central Bahamas off of Cape Hatteras. So if you're in the middle, that'd be square through Turks, Caicos, Central Bahamas, Abaco, Grand Bahama, and then northeast Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. This little indent area here, we've seen so many storms. Remember Dorian last year, Floyd back in 99, Fran back in 96. They love making that turn, and that's why we actually think the land is shaped that way from centuries and centuries of hurricanes over thousands of years pounding along the coast. And it looks like Isaias may be a hurricane doing just that in the next 48, 72, 96 hours. There's the European ensembles. This is the 12Z model run. And again, if it does relocate more over here, you wonder, are they going to be maybe more in this direction? We're not sure yet. Right now, it appears as though it really likes right off Florida and into the Carolinas, and a lot of hurricane landfalls on the European run along the North Carolina coastline. The GFS model takes it right on up into the Carolinas and then develops a new system off Africa, goes through the islands and into Belize. So that'll be something to watch. More African activity after we deal with Isaias. So remember, we're just getting into August, peak of the hurricane season, September 10th. So we got a long way to go, but that's going to be something we're going to watch in the longer range. That would be a hurricane, it looks like, based on that model run, right up into North Carolina, and then boom, another hurricane there moving through the Caribbean. So that's the GFS as of, what run is this? This is 12Z. How much Isaias strengthens is still up in the air. It needs to get a good low-level circulation back over the warm waters, and then wind shear, you can see right now, there's wind shear 20 to 30 knots. However, this might move in tandem with the cyclone. So kind of picture that this good area kind of moves along with the storm, and then notice there is kind of a safe harbor here over the central Bahamas. So we don't know exactly how the trough interaction is going to come in when we get that front moving off the east coast. Is that going to help enhance it to the north? Think about when an ice skater spins, like she draws her arms in and starts spinning real fast. Troughs can have that effect. They could also slam into a hurricane and weaken it. So we're going to have to wait and see. Again, Isaias is not a hurricane yet, but it is a mid-range tropical storm, expected to be one. So we'll watch that over the next coming days. Right now, wind shear is going to be something we got to keep an eye on. You can clearly see Isaias looks a lot better than it did. It has a more of a high pressure building above it type of look, like it's getting that anticyclonic flow around it, and that's why those shear maps will be changing with time. You can see we have a couple of waves here in the Atlantic. There's one here. This system has spun up quickly. It's a new Invest 93L, and this could become a tropical depression or storm. The next name is Josephine. And so we're going to wait and see if this becomes Josephine. I'll tell you right now, if it does do anything, it's almost just going to remain here over the Cape Verde Islands and be way out at sea. And I mean way out, not even remotely near the islands or Puerto Rico. But it could get a name, Josephine. In fact, Josephine's one of the names that was on the original name lists when they came out with the 6 rotating name lists back in '79. And we've never really had a huge Hurricane Josephine for whatever reason. Watch, 6 years from now, it'll be the next Katrina. The key messages for Tropical Storm Isaias as of 5 p.m. from the Hurricane Center. Number 1, heavy rains, life-threatening flash flooding, mudslides. Puerto Rico, the Dominican, northern Haiti, Turks, Caicos, and the Bahamas. Number 2, hurricane conditions and dangerous storm surge are expected in the central and northwest Bahamas. That's late tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion, and those tropical storm force conditions will continue to spread. You can see that by Saturday we could have them all through the Bahamas, impinging on Florida. Number 3, tropical storm conditions are possible on the Florida East Coast beginning on Saturday, and that's why we have that tropical storm watch. And again, storm surge watches are not currently needed, but if the track shifts closer to Florida, we're going to need that. And we will have heavy rains along the eastern Florida coastline. Isolated flash flooding, urban flooding, very possible as Isaias draws closer. And number 4, there is a risk of impacts from winds, heavy rain, storm surge along the Florida East Coast, spreading northward along the remainder of the U.S. coastline over the next couple of days through early next week. And again, remember, the details of the track and intensity are uncertain, and it is too soon to determine the magnitude and location of impacts, but interests along the entire East Coast should monitor Isaias. Okay? There he is right now, leaving the Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, Puerto Rico, areas there, Ponce, San Juan, Punta Cana. They've been getting a lot of gusty winds and heavy rain. Now, Turks, Caicos, Central Bahamas, Northwest Bahamas, it looks like a hurricane will head your way over the weekend. Start overlooking your plan of action in case Isaias makes his way towards you. I'm Mike Nason. I'll be back with more updates as we continue to watch the tropics with hurricane season 2020 in full swing.